Hi, welcome back to Unique Minds of the Okanagan. I'm Rob O'Day, and we're on location in Penticton with Brett Diplock, the creator of Body Breakz, dance crew.
Yep.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me as well.
No worries. Let's dive right in by who you are, where you're from, and how you got into breakdancing and dancing.
Okay. Well, I'm Brett. I grew up down at the coast, mainly Chilliwack, till I was in my 20s. Then ended up moving around. Eventually came to the Okanagan, mid 2000s. Went back to the coast. But yeah, now I live in the Okanagan. I love it up here. It's great. I got my start dancing early. I think I was about 20, 21 years old. And yeah, it was about then. I was at a rave. Saw other people dancing the way I always wanted to dance and never got a chance to because it was never available at local dance studios. They had hip hop and stuff, but it was never the stuff that I wanted to do. I always wanted to dance when I was younger too, so it was something that was always there. And then I saw people doing what I wanted to do and slowly started learning the form of popping, which is, like what Michael Jackson does kind of thing. I learned a lot of like liquid style stuff before I really got into the popping, and then met a few people that were able to teach me a few things, and then I developed my own style. And I've been doing it now for around 23 years now, something like that. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
23 years of dancing is like dancing for 5 minutes is hard on the body.
Yeah.
So to do it for 20 plus years, what's been like the biggest challenge that you've noticed as you've progressed as like a dancer?
Probably one of the biggest challenges is not getting the I would say respect that, for instance, being in like the rave, the electronic music scene, they always want us dancers up on stage showing up and doing our thing to add to the event, but they never want to pay us enough. And the thing is some of those dancers that are up there have put in 2, 3, 4 times as much effort into learning their practice than, for instance, the DJ who maybe has only been DJing for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, and then we don't really get as much out of it. But the last few years, people have really there's been a lot of us really advocating for proper payment and stuff like that, and none of this working for exposure. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
we're old now. I'm 44 years old. It's I'm if I'm going out and performing for you, I'm gonna be getting some money out of it.
Yeah.
It has to be done. I don't do this stuff for free anymore.
Well, no, and that's the thing is like, as artists, we talk with tons of different artists, from musicians, hip hop artists, painters. Hardest thing is putting a price on yourself and the art that you do.
Exactly.
And then staying true to that is even harder, because there's gonna be times where it comes down to a moral code of like, I really want to play this festival, but they're not willing to pay me, then no.
Yeah, exactly.
And then next year they pay you.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's the odd time that, I'll accept certain things because I see, for instance, there's been a festival that I went and performed at last year, and I didn't take a payment. They just gave us tickets, and that was basically it for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay with that because it was the second year of the festival, and I can see them growing already. So certain situations, if you can grow with the festival, then eventually there will be some of the perks and stuff. And I mean, it wasn't that far out of our way either.
Yeah.
So that there is certain situations where I will, if the other people with me will let it slide as well. But most of the time now we're taking payment.
Well, and that's the thing too, is it's because it is a business at the end of the day. It's very hard, and in a discipline where, like you said, it doesn't get, let's say, the recognition that it should. Other dance forms get tons of recognition. Ballet, hip hop, even, contemporary. there's a lot of respect for it, but when it comes to, like, one of my favorite dancers is Nonstop.
Yeah.
His liquid dancing and like his reverse, how that one video where he does reverse and you're like, oh my, right? Like, you're like, how does he do this? Like, people look at it, it looks cool, they like it, but they're not gonna like dive into it as much. And I feel like that's one thing I love about the rave scene, was it is very embracing of dancers.
Oh, big time.
But I think they do, like you said, have to accept the fact that dancers are artists. They're not just there to have fun, dress up and be on stage, but like, you're dancing for 8+ hours a day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's 8 hours of your time, plus the travel, the energy and expense that happens. So it's definitely an art form that is, I don't want to say growing, because it is massive, and dance has always been massive, but it's starting to become more of a business versus just like an extra.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see that.
Exactly.
Well, I want to dive into how you decided, and like, because with bands and artists, there's like a step that's like, oh, we want to start performing.
Yeah.
We got to go book a show. We got to make sure we have our gear lined up, and we got to promote. With dance, how do you say, I want to start performing at shows and build a dance group? Like, how does that concept come about?
It's, it's always been a thing ever since I was into it. Because as a dancer, you're a performer, really. When you start getting into it and stuff, you want to show other people what you can do. It kind of becomes, you want to be a performer, so you start looking for avenues to be able to do that kind of thing. When I first was really getting into it, and I would say that was probably 2005-ish, somewhere around there, that's when I met somebody, and he was actually involved. He was teaching dance here in Penticton, and because of that, he ended up meeting other people that wanted him to come perform. So he ended up pulling me with him. So that gave me the bug, because he had already performed. He had actually, he had been on Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
Back in the day. There was a scene with
Corey and Trevor, or J-Rock?
J-Rock.
Okay.
Had the nightclub.
Okay.
There was 2 people dancing out front.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy was one of those guys.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, he taught me a few things. He started bringing me out to these events and stuff. So it did give me the bug to want to perform on stage. But it took a while. I mean, I did a few performances here and there. But at that point, I was also substance abusing. So I didn't really get all the opportunities to do it. And then I can't remember what year it was. I think 2013. 2013, I was at Motion Notion, and a couple of my DJ friends that were playing there invited me to come up and dance on stage for them. So that was really my first dancing on stage at a festival while a DJ was playing. So that was really cool. And then the following, between that summer and the next summer, I ended up meeting a few people in Vancouver, and they were looking to start a dance crew to start performing at shows and stuff like that locally, and festivals and whatnot. So I decided to join up with them. And yeah, I got my first festival gig the next summer. I was dancing at a festival that year. I think I did just one that year. And then yeah, after that, pretty much every summer I was dancing at a festival or two. My busiest summer was the summer right before COVID, and I did 7 festivals.
Wow.
Yeah. Only one of them I didn't perform at. Every other one I performed at.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And even the one I wasn't supposed to perform at, I still ended up on stage.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's a cool like trajectory, and it's kind of funny that the first time being pulled up was for Tyler, because he's an amazing person.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and Tyler go like way back to, I think I met him in like 2005, somewhere around there.
That's awesome.
And like when we had nights at Elevation, and Higher Ground, which was the little space above District right now.
Okay.
The little spot up top.
Yeah.
We used to have nights there all the time,
That's so cool.
That's where I met a lot of the people in the scene out in Kelowna, and got heavily involved in it. And we were going to raves every weekend. It was crazy times back then, but man, it was fun.
Right, and like
lots of dancing every weekend, and that was my thing. It was just like, oh, I gotta go out dancing. I gotta go out dancing. Gotta go out dancing.
Yeah.
So,
in all the years that you've been dancing, what's been your favorite experience? Like, which has been your favorite festival to be on stage for?
All right. Wicked.
All right,
this one, definitely, I would have to say Wicked Woods. For sure. I've danced for some of my favorite artists dancing at that festival. Not only danced for my favorite artists, I've danced with them too. I've danced with Crafty Cuts. Oh. I've danced with Charlie Tuna as well. That was epic.
Man.
But yeah, like I've been able to dance for Calyx and TB at that festival, TC, Crafty Cuts, many of my homies from like the Run It crew, Alan Flava, Cody Pottery, and oh yeah, and of course Thug Shells as well. I don't know if you know her, but you should know her.
No, I don't, but I'll definitely check her out.
Yeah, she's rad. And all those times at that festival, I can't emphasize enough how awesome it was to actually get to dance with my best friend too. During all those festivals, I got to dance with my friend Becky. Every single festival, she was my dance partner, and it kind of sucks that I don't dance with her anymore. We also live 5 hours apart too, so that
fair enough.
Sucks. But yeah, anyways, I would definitely say Wicked Woods was, and there's no like definite specific one time either. Probably, honestly, actually, the time that stands out the most is the very last time I danced on the stage at Wicked Woods, which was it would be 3 years ago this coming summer. I went up on stage for, who was it? I think it was Calyx and TB. Yeah, it was Calyx and TB. And I ended up on stage. They were doing an 1.5-hour set, and I was on stage. I did not get off the stage, continued to dance for half an hour straight. I came off and almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
But that's the one time that stands out the most. Yeah. And the other person that was on the other stage, I haven't talked to in a while and miss her. But yeah, it was great to share the stage with her.
That's
as
awesome.
Well. Yeah. That's definitely the one time that stands out of all the other times. But like I said, pretty much every time being at Wicked Woods was some of the best times, and getting to dance for some of the best artists and artists that I just thoroughly enjoy listening to and have listened to forever. And yeah, also getting to dance for Pino and Loeb, who are a couple buddies of mine from Halifax. That's pretty rad too. So
that's the one thing I love about like the big festivals around here, especially like our rave festivals are massive. They're really big.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to start naming them off. There's so many different festivals, to the point that if you're like, even around Nelson, if you're trying to book during the summer, they're just like, no, dude. There's no competing with the festivals out here.
Yeah, no, you can't. That's why, like, I mean, there won't be any shows basically in Kelowna. No. See, the inside shows are over. They don't do any more inside shows all summer long.
Yeah.
So that sucks, because I think I'm going to one festival this year, so I won't get any dancing in this summer. Like, I started my dance team just over 2 years ago. We still haven't actually got a festival booking. And I've applied both, like the last 2 summers, I've applied at festivals and stuff. I mean, there is a festival that we have danced at, but originally it was only me getting invited up there, and I just said, hey, I can bring a couple more dancers.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a struggle for me. I mean, up until recently, we only had a handful of gigs here and there, and quite often it was usually only me just going out for it, or me and one other person going out. And I'm finally getting some more, more people are calling to try and book us, but like recently we tried to get booked for a hip hop brunch that was happening in Kelowna, and they ended up not continuing with it. So
was that
Revelry?
Was that Dave's show? Emotions?
No.
He had a day show. Emotions coming through Kelowna. He's got a day show, so I thought that might be it.
No.
Revelry is kind of a weird one. If you haven't Revelry is like the greatest venue possible for our arts community, but if a show doesn't sell enough tickets, apparently they just cancel it. And I've heard that from multiple shows and like multiple different genres. Is if there's not enough pre-sales,
we got lucky, like with we were working with them with footwork.
Yeah.
Footwork, but and those I thoroughly enjoyed.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I love the 7 to 11 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great, especially when you're old now.
Mm-hmm. Right,
being able to be home by midnight, it's great.
Yeah,
and still getting to enjoy a good night and get dancing in and stuff. But now going to a show for 10 p.m. and not leaving there till 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'd rather go to a concert type setting. So much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where like my mentality is too, and that's kind of where I'm like, I'd rather host like a 9 to 12, have solid music, like no in between, no stalls, but like I'm out of there by 1 o'clock, I'm home by 1:30, and then I feel it for the next 2-3 days.
Oh yeah.
It's not like where I used to be able to like perform every single night.
We're not young and spry like we used
to be. Right? And like that's like the May 17th show coming up is actually like my early 35th pre-celebration, because our drummer is in Italy, so we couldn't perform for my birthday. But for my birthday, we're doing the submissions. We're going over all the submissions for the festival in October. So like that's a way cooler birthday for me. Yeah. You get to listen to like, I think it's like 70 bands that have applied, different artists.
That ain't too bad.
No, so it'll be fun. But that's the thing too, is like even our shows, I don't want to go late. Like our headliner will probably be like 12 o'clock latest. Yeah. And they're done by 12:45, wrapped up by 1.
Yeah.
That's late for me too. And it's not like, if you're trying to get a younger crowd too, it's like the younger crowds don't drink. They're not partying as much.
This is so true.
They don't the younger generation is like, it's not our young generation where it was like, oh, we're 16, let's go party. They're like, oh, it's 16. It's like, what are we doing tonight? We're going to hang out and do nothing, or like we're gonna go out and go to a restaurant. Like they've got a weird different mentality. So trying to market to a younger crowd nowadays as like, come party, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's come be entertained, come have some fun. And it's there's one thing too, as I noticed, like dance and EDM work perfectly. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand why the hip hop artists who have DJs don't have dancers with them at their shows too. That's one thing I'm like, that is the hip hop culture, was break, DJs, and MCs.
Right.
That's hip hop or graffiti. But can't have graffiti.
the one thing that was starting to happen, like down in Vancouver, Lower Mainland, is they were starting to try and invite break dancers and poppers, like the hip hop elements of dance. They were trying to have us out, but they're so far and few between that actually want to come out to these shows. There's a lot of dancers in the actual dance scene, that go train. Yeah. They go to studios and train and do this and go to dance competitions and stuff. They have no interest in coming out for this kind of stuff. And it's so weird, because I was in both dance scenes at one point in Vancouver, and I constantly would ask my popping friends and breakdancing friends, I'm like, hey, you want to come out and perform at the show? You get paid, this, that, and the other thing. Oh, that's not really my thing. It's like, oh, okay. It's just weird. To me, it'd be weird. And then eventually I realized that they're completely two separate entities. Mm-hmm. Completely. They do not tie with one another whatsoever. So unless there's already the breakdancers and hip-hop dancers and poppers in that scene there already, you're not going to get them.
Yeah, fair enough. Have you ever thought of putting on like you know who Emotions is, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave always puts on these really cool workshops where he teaches like kids how to dance and beatbox and rap, but he goes to like schools, and he approaches the school boards as like, hey, can we do a workshop and teach the kids how to do this? And I don't know how he gets in, but he gets in, and I'd love to see that down here.
I would be totally into doing that. I would need to meet some of the right people to do it with, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's inspiring, right?
Oh, yeah. And actually, it's really funny. A buddy of mine who where does he live now? Sunshine Coast, I think.
Oh, wow.
I think that's where he still lives. He was talking to me about doing that a couple of years ago, and he wanted me to teach at a few different spots. Like he was gonna travel around BC and hit like a bunch of different spots in the Okanagan. He's like, I'll hire you for all the Okanagan spots. And he's like, honestly, if you want to come to more, he's like, I'll hire you for them too. But it's just a lot of travel.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And yeah, I haven't heard anything since about it. He was trying to get I think funding didn't happen for it or something, but I would love to do that. That's actually, I would love to teach. Mind you, I don't know choreography at all. So that would be something I'd have to teach myself while teaching.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
choreography is a weird one though. Like, especially like, it's where I think it's like where it divides in dance is like there's choreography, which is like how I feel when you're taught music theory, and then you're stuck in that box of everybody has to dance the same way, everybody has to play music the same way. As where like when you base music on dance off feel, like a lot of the greats are based off feel, because it's not, you can't be taught how to feel something. It doesn't make sense to like, you can't be taught music, you have to feel music. Same with dance, and same with painting. Like that's one thing where I suck at painting, is because like I look at it very logically and not emotionally when I paint. So like my paintings are terrible because there's no emotion behind them. It's like, oh yeah, cool, I'm painting something.
And me as a painter, I did try that when I was younger. I was too much of a perfectionist. So it would just take me too long to do something, and it would just look too perfect. You know, like it would look like I traced something, or you know, I'm just like, no, this isn't right.
With dancing, what's been like the hardest thing to push through, like with learning?
Well, a lot of the style that I do, popping, is moving your body in ways that it doesn't normally do. Like, there's so many different parts of it. Like, even for instance, just like isolating and stuff like that. Well, you don't normally do that on a regular basis. So you're having to constantly teach yourself how to move things that. So it's literally retraining your brain to move in ways that it has never done before. So it's completely learning things that are completely new, and trying to teach muscle memory as well at the same time. And it gets tough. It is tough, but once you learn certain things, they stay with you forever.
Okay.
You don't ever forget it. So then it's a matter of just learning how to do something new while still using this. So it's kind of a curve. It's a slow curve, and then once you kind of hit that certain spot, then it goes drastic again, and you learn everything like tenfold. And then certain things that you can learn can be really quick, but they can also be really slow. For instance, I've been trying to teach myself tutting probably for the past 8 years. Finally, in the last couple of years, I've started to actually make it look good.
Okay.
So that's a massive learning curve. My hands don't move the way I would like them to, and your brain's confused, right? So you're trying to move things in the way that it'll look cool, but your brain's confused trying to make it happen.
Do you have to do it in the mirror a lot, so that you're watching what your body is moving, like how it's physically moving?
Yes and no. A lot of it, I've had problems doing it in the mirror because you're seeing it opposite, so it messes with your head.
Okay.
So that's why I don't like doing it in a mirror. A lot of the times we'll be videoing myself.
And then
I
watching
look
the
back
video.
at the video,
Okay.
be
That
like,
makes more
oh,
sense.
what I'm doing there does look good. And like, just really honestly, just trying it, and a lot of it is feel too. If it feels good, then it probably looks good too. So
I always find that I was like, I can do my upper body and make it look good, but my legs are like, I don't know, they don't ever want to do anything. They're like,
Yeah.
you're trying to get your legs to look like they're moving in like water or something, and it's
Yeah.
just like, it's not doing what you're intending, my friend.
Right?
It looks terrible.
Yeah, and yeah, I totally get that one too. Like, it's the same with me. Learning, like I said, learning curve. It's a crazy learning curve. You do this, and then this, and then this, and this, and this.
It's super physical. I think that's the thing too, is like, I remember being young and breakdancing and like learning how to do windmills and like both ways of the worm, and then trying to do like the back worm and like just learning those techniques. But when it came to like stalls, like my upper body strength was never there. So like I could get into the windmill and push myself out, but never be like, and stall and hold myself. It just boom, face plant into the ground.
Yeah.
So like when I watch break dancers and dancers who can like do that, I'm so envious, and I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah,
I don't know, dance is just something I've always wanted to. Like I was saying before we started, is like always wanted to. Like I'll do it by myself when no one's watching, but I'm so scared to do it in front of people.
yeah. That was tough at first. Like, heck, dude, I danced at 420, like Sunset, down in Vancouver. One of the big 420 shows that they did there. I think it was the year before it went legal. It got legal, or no, it was definitely legal when I did it. Can't remember exactly when, but I got to dance in front of like 20,000 people. There was like, I think it was 20,000 people down there that weekend or that day. It was insane. That's the most amount of people I've ever danced in front of. And I think T-Pain was on after me. Yeah.
I love T-Pain.
Yeah. I got to dance all afternoon. Like, whenever I wanted to go up on stage, they're like, go for it. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm looking out at the crowd, and there's like so many people out there. It was just a super cool thing to be a part of. But yeah, festivals are great too.
When you look back and at those moments when you're like standing out at 20,000 people, and then think back to when you were like 11 years old, do you ever think you'd make it there?
You know, no. No. I never in a million, like, up until probably about 2021, I never in a million years would have even thought that I'd be dancing on stages in front of people. Like, I remember once when I was like, oh my God, I had to have been 4 or 5 years old. And I was at my grandparents' place in the living room, and I think my grandma put on some like Michael Jackson or something, and I just started ripping it up in the living room. My grandma said to me, she's like, I can see it in you. One day you're going to be a professional dancer. I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't think twice about that. The best part was before she passed away, I was able to tell her I'm actually a professional dancer, Grandma. She's
That's
like,
so cool.
Wow. She's like, you actually did it. I'm like, I did. I'm like, I get paid to do this now. So she was the one person that always told me that I'd be a professional dancer. She always knew it. So
That's wicked.
yeah.
It's definitely like, that's why I love having those family members who just can see and they push you to do it even when you don't see it, because it is definitely, especially grandparents. Grandparents always see greatness. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Always. Sad thing is I am getting close to the end of my dance career. I'm still gonna stay in the dance scene, but I'm probably just gonna hit up different aspects of it. Still manage the dance team and everything, and still be part of it, but just won't be physically doing it as much because my body doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah,
I've beaten it up pretty hard.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah.
If there was any advice that you would give to an aspiring dancer who's at the point where they're like, I really want to do this, but I have no idea what my first step is, what would you say it is?
That's a tough one, but there's with the way the dance scene is, and there's so many different styles and stuff out there, if you're interested in a specific style of dance, you can, as much as I could not do this back in the day, you can go to YouTube, you can find videos, you can find many tutorial videos that are simple step-by-step videos that will help you move in the right direction that you want to move, and start looking for some of the dancers that you enjoy watching. Learn from them. Slow down the videos. You know, do what you have to start learning your own way to do some of the same moves. Also, create your own techniques. Because if you don't create your own techniques, you're gonna look like every other dancer out there. So
never thought about that.
That's really big.
I want to thank you for doing this. This
You
has
are
been
very
an incredible
welcome.
talk.
Thank you for having me as well.
Thank you. It's a part of the arts culture that I have yet got to embrace, and it's one that I love. And I think that there's enough artists in the world. Like, we have enough painters, we have enough musicians, we don't have enough dancers.
No.
And that's kind of one, like, that I'm, like, big on, is dancing.
And saying that, if you go into the rave scene again, you don't see the poppers, the new poppers. You don't see the new break dancers anymore. They're not there.
No.
It's gone again. It came and it went again.
No.
I can't find break dancers and poppers that are like the young, in their early 20s in the scene. They're not there.
No.
None of them are there. I can't find younger dancers anymore. It's like the only young dancers I can find are go-go dancers and, you know, flow artists and loopers and stuff. Can't find what I do anymore.
Yeah, no, and that's it. And that's one thing that I hope break and these subgenres of dance that are very underground don't just disappear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you again for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll catch you guys next time.